welcome to the latest episode of the Give My Head podcast with me, Tim McGarry, and my comedy colleague,
Michael McDowell.
You'll never guess who we're sponsored by, ladies and gentlemen. This episode, we're very glad to say, is sponsored by our very favourite sponsors who sponsor quite a few of our episodes.
Yeah, they have indeed.
Phoenix, how come you got a mug and I've got a plastic thing? You got a proper mug.
Slightly better cut than me, you know.
Phoenix Energy, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, one of the major gas supplier in Northern Ireland, supply hundreds of thousands of homes across the province, and they're very efficient. Mm-hmm. You can switch from your oil tanks and from your oil to gas very quickly. Go to phoenixenergyni.com. It's far more environmentally friendly as well, because they are developing new gas now with biomethane. Do you know what biomethane is?
I really don't. I'm just enjoying hearing all about this. I'm getting an education.
It is an education. Go to phoenixenergyni.com and they will tell you all about how to switch. Switching is very easy, and you can get rid of your old big oil tank, because Northern Ireland is very weird and we have far more people have oil here.
That's right.
But gas is far more efficient, and you like cooking with gas.
Well, I am the standard bearer of the gas.
Cooking with gas.
Cooking with gas is great. No, it is. No, I really think having gas in the house is fantastic. I mean, the heating, it's instantaneous.
Right.
There's no risk that you, oh God, for it to fill up my oil tank.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to mention anything else. And and also the cooking is better. Cooking is, I mean, I've had halogen hobs and all that stuff, but cooking and gas is the best.
Well, Phoenix make it very easy to switch. If you do want to switch from oil to gas, it's quicker, it's easy, it's not that dear, and I think it's cheaper, and also it is more efficient and more environmentally friendly. So thank you very much to Phoenix Energy for your support, and we appreciate it because we have a super guest. Phoenix Energy will be delighted. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who this is. You look at the woman and go, why is she not on the TV? This is a podcast. She's on the fucking TV every 5 minutes. It is the wonderful Ms. Holly Hamilton.
Hello.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in.
It's lovely to be here.
Nice to be here.
It's really nice, and I've enjoyed all of the gas chat. It was more than I was expecting.
You know what? You have two young children. Would you like to get a Phoenix Energy notepad where they can scribble on your...
I would need a new diary, actually. This is perfect.
Yep.
I'll start it now.
Well, I'm just going to say, because I asked you, have you got a day off? You actually have a day off today.
I know.
You're Mrs. 10 Jobs Holly, 10 Jobs Hamilton.
Can't you tell? See, whenever I wake up and I realise I've nothing in the diary, that week I have a totally different, or that day I have such a different demeanour. I kind of skipped in here today. Well, I didn't so much skip because you got 3,000 steps to get up here. But no, I have a day off, and who else would I rather spend it with?
Oh, well.
Well, exactly.
No, that was a serious question.
Is your husband on radio at the minute?
No, he's walking the baby round and round and round. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Listen,
we've got until he wakes up.
You described him as a minder before we came on.
He said handler, actually, was the term I used.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, a child handler.
Yes, he's the handler of the children.
Yeah. Conor Phillips has got far too many mentions in this podcast, by the way, because he was on it himself, and then we talked to Peter Canavan, and then he very kindly got us George Hamilton.
That's right.
So no more mention of Conor
Yes, he's very proud of that fact, by the way. He said, you have to mention me today so that I've been in this many of Tim McGarry's podcasts. Yeah, edit this bit out. Yeah. Don't mention it at all. Everyone talks about Conor except his wife.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how hard is it being the more talented part of the partnership and having to carry him? Is that a burden to you, or do you go, he's off doing his wee radio thing, whereas I'm off doing my sport and my TV and my religious programs and my travel programs and everything?
I like the way you're listing this off here. I'm like, what do I do every day? No, do you know what? We're a good wee team. That's the best way to describe it. Everyone always says, is it weird both of you working in the same industry? But actually it makes it so much better, because it means I'm a really terrible wife sometimes, you know, because if you think of it, I'm just constantly going, right, I've got to head over to Manchester this week, or I've got to go off to London, or whatever it is. Not a lot of people would be that understanding about that all the time, you know. So he's very, very good. And vice versa. Then whenever he's going over and he's picking up shifts over in Manchester, whatever, and doing radio too and things, then I pick up the slack. So it's teamwork.
Right, okay. But you need to coordinate your diaries quite heavily, don't you?
Well, now I've got this lovely new Phoenix Energy diary. That will really help with that.
We booked you a couple of weeks ago. I said, no, I must get Holly on because I've spoken to you before in another couple of things. I thought, yeah, Holly would be great. And then I woke up yesterday morning to see a photograph of you with Arnold Schwarzenegger Schwarzenegger
Standard,
interview.
you know,
And I go,
as you
yeah,
do.
what am I going to talk to Holly about? The next thing you're interviewing, what the hell happened?
How mad is that?
Yeah.
So I only got this call a couple of weeks ago. This was organised pretty quickly, I think, asking me, would I be available on this date to sit down with a Hollywood actor who, and they didn't tell me who it was initially, but it wasn't hard to work out. A Hollywood actor slash politician, former politician. That's
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
you're
is-
narrowing it down there. Yeah.
but to the extent I literally Googled it and was like, has anyone else? Dear ChatGPT. Because I couldn't believe. I was like, oh, it couldn't be Arnie. It couldn't be Arnold
Well, he does
Schwarzenegger.
advertisements for Lidl now. I mean, the guys.
Does he?
Who doesn't?
He
Who doesn't?
Lidl?
He does. And do you know who was in Lidl?
Whoa, I haven't seen
Seriously?
that.
Yeah, he does like power tools. You never seen
Does he?
this?
I
Yeah,
actually
and you kind of
haven't
think that's a
seen this one.
lookalike, and then I looked it up and went, it's not. It's him.
Lidl?
Lidl.
I feel not so great now.
No,
about it.
I wasn't trying to talk
It's
you
really
down.
exciting.
And being a tennis fan, I was going, who's in that pot for Lidl? Who's holding that pot? It's Andrew Agassi. What? Yeah. What is going on with Lidl? They've got these top stars. I think it's Steffi Graf. I think it's a German connection.
That middle aisle is paying for
Middle.
a lot of top end
Well,
talent.
he's
here.
Austrian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So yeah,
So
he was getting an honorary doctorate.
Yes. Do you know the two words that you wouldn't put together are Schwarzenegger and academia? Was that cruel?
He's really smart. So I think that he's obviously played these characters over the years,
Yeah.
and obviously with his broken English in the early parts of his career and things like that, people I think did assume he was a bit of a himbo in the way with the big muscles and all the rest of it. He is so quick. He is very funny.
Because I just knew somebody who was at it and said he was charming, he was
So
witty, he
charming.
was clever, he was, I went, oh, Arnie, maybe it's my prejudice.
No, well,
but-
we got a little opportunity beforehand, and this was the bit I was almost more nervous about, where we would, have a bit of one-on-one time to
Yeah.
get to know each other,
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
do,
yeah.
shoot the breeze.
With a Hollywood star.
Don't ask me about.
Yeah, exactly what that's normally. But you're surrounded by his team and things like that anyway. But he was so relaxed. He was just. I said to him, you be you, and he laughed and he went, I'm not going to be anything else but that, really. But he just no airs or graces. He. Despite this massive team behind him, he was just so warm and friendly. Like whenever I was on the stage at the very end, he cut me off to say, "Can we just say thank you very much to you?" I'm going, "No, stop it! Oh, stop it! Behave yourself, Arnie. No, I'm all embarrassed now. It takes a lot for me to get embarrassed, but I was a little bit flustered.
But when you say a team, how many people has he got? What's his posse?
Well, I think there's many more behind the scenes, but with him on the day, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 6 with him, kind of following around at any one time.
Is that bodyguards or is that people?
Well, no,
guys, no?
they were just people watching everything I said, he said, that sort of thing. His partner was there with him as well.
okay.
I'll be honest, I don't know who the rest of them were because. He is so lovely and friendly, and most of his team are very friendly. But when you're chatting to them, going, they're on the clock right now. They're on the job. They're not here to make small chat with me. So I sort of stop the niceties. And what do you do?
Just to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, Holly Hamilton's entourage today is 17 people. Did we get all 17 into the motorcade come up?
That's right.
You see, that's the thing. You're Northern Ireland. You just turn up and go, it's the lads. We'll have a chat
Could you
with the
imagine?
lads.
I could never imagine being like that. I really struggle with that sort of thing. Like even I have an agent. And that feels to me, I feel like I say that a wee bit under my breath. And I love my agent very much. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
But it feels, when we're from this part of the world, so
very
you
short.
talk to my agent,
Very
it
short.
feels like the worst possible thing you can
If I
say.
can ever do anything for you, Holly, just talk to my agent. Just let me.
we're not like that, are we?
No, that's the thing. So is Arnie one of the biggest you've spoken? Because you're sports journalism and then all sorts of journalism. You're kind of, take it the right way, you're kind of Catholic in the right way. You do everything.
Bit of a jack of all trades here. I used to call myself the Mr. Ben. Whenever I worked in BBC Breakfast, I'd say I was the Mr. Ben of BBC Breakfast. I'd put a little outfit on and they'd send me out to do whatever it was. So yes, I've had quite a range. But that's the question people always want to know. Who's the biggest star? Who's the most famous person? And I always say it's in the eye of the beholder. Who's been the biggest for me? Who gets me flustered might be very different from... Now, don't get me wrong. This is the thing about Arnie.
She means today.
But this moment right now, it's all been built. First entry in my diary. Dear diary, I got to work.
Very, very flustered.
Yeah, it's a hard one because in terms of sport, anytime you're interviewing any of the players and, tennis players, you're saying you're a tennis fan, yeah.
Fan, yeah.
Who's the one for you?
Oh, Alcaraz. If I could meet him, wow.
Alcaraz.
See, I met Alcaraz, but it was before he kind of really broke onto
out,
the scene. You know, so I
Wow.
feel like I didn't appreciate it at the time.
Yeah.
And he's so young. He's
I know
so
he is.
young.
I know he is.
Very
I know he
sweet.
is. But he's very smiley.
And very sweet. He's a lovely, I feel very old sounding. He's a lovely young man, but he is very, very nice. Djokovic, other
Yeah.
end of it. Much nicer than people think.
Yeah, you know, you get the feeling he'd be a bit kind of like.
He's a
No.
Serbian guy.
He's a Serbian
Yes, he
guy.
is,
just,
yeah.
Who wouldn't take a vaccine and all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
annoyed a lot of people.
Yes.
Famously,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't like tennis, to be honest with you, but yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell though. You were covering it up really well.
Well, they do well there.
Well,
Yeah.
is it on a golf level
It's
too?
no, it's not quite as boring as golf now. I would ban golf.
Yeah, you actually hate golf. With tennis, you don't mind it.
No,
just
I mean, I wouldn't
right.
watch it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
if the Wimbledon final was in the back garden, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go switch it off.
would-
You just
No, I wouldn't watch it now. I'd go and.
But you would accept it's a sport, which you don't.
Yes, no, I don't
People
accept.
do
I
run
don't.
around.
Yes, no. See, tennis players, they work bloody hard. They go for hours and hours
Oh,
and
yeah.
hours, and then they
Yeah, yeah.
have another match the next day.
Yeah, yeah.
Footballers, oh, somebody breathed on me.
You can always tell how hard a sport is by how much they're falling apart by the time they retire. You know what I mean? You see tennis players
Yeah.
strapping themselves together. They've been held together by blue tack by the end of
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
Well-
golfers not so much.
Not
Yeah.
so much, apart from Tiger Woods, but we'll not go there.
Nobody takes
Do you have a favorite sport then? And are there sports you go, oh Jesus, they're making me go and watch hockey? Oh God.
Oh
they're
no!
making
Well,
me
see,
wanna watch-"
I love a bit of
You
hockey.
have to say that.
Yeah, no, because I played hockey, you see, for a very long
yeah.
time, and I do love hockey. And funny when you say about some of the biggest stars that you've interviewed. Whenever I was interviewing like the likes of the hockey team and things, that's the sort of thing that gets me excited
Oh, right,
because
okay.
they're sort of aspirational to me. Not that I always joke about this, that I was never going to play for Ireland. I wasn't that good, but I like to talk about it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you know what? Sorry, going down a sidetrack here, but do you ever think about this? That when people wear football shirts and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, if you wear a United or a Liverpool shirt, no one's like, "Did you play? Did you play
Yeah.
for Liverpool?" I got some Ireland hockey gear because I really liked it, and every time I wore it, people were like, "Did you play? Did you play for Ireland?" No, I'm just trying to show. And it was so weird that, no, I've never
Yeah.
worn it since.
Well, I was in Wimbledon. Last year. That was the first time I got to go to it. Finally, right? And I'm walking.
Which round were you put out in?
Well, funny enough, you should say. So when you go right in centre court, there's this, and the ground, and below it, for some reason, there's this big wall, and it's got all the people who've won Wimbledon, like
Right.
all photographs of them all. And this American old lady, came up behind me, kind of went, "So which one are you?" I said, "That's me there." And she insisted on getting the photograph, and I was going, "No, look, really, honestly, I'm not." But she was convinced I was. So. Oh, I know.
Have you done Wimbledon quite a bit though?
No, only once. Only once.
That's great, isn't it?
That is brilliant.
Could
Can I tell a
convince him.
sad but poignant story about my mother who had Alzheimer's?
I feel like this has taken quite the handbrake turn.
No,
Wimbledon,
and it was quite funny because Alzheimer's is a terrible disease, but also there are funny moments.
Yes,
and I
of
went in
course.
there, she was in a nursing home on the bottom of the Crumlin Road, and I went in one day and Wimbledon was on. She said, "I'm really worried." I said, "What's wrong, Mum?" She said, "I have a match this afternoon." I have a match this afternoon, and I haven't practiced, and I don't know how to practice. And I literally had to spend 10 minutes going, "Mum, it's okay, you were put out in the semi-finals." I know, yeah, it's at the camp, so you didn't go, "Well, don't be stupid, you're not playing." And
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be stupid. You go, "Oh, no, you were playing." And just, sorry, that
No, but in some ways I'm
memory.
thinking, actually, Alzheimer's doesn't sound like that bad now.
yeah.
That if I'm in that state where I think I'm about to play in the Wimbledon final.
Well, exactly.
That sounds great, actually.
Sorry, that did take a turn there.
You'll do anything not to talk about tennis, won't you?
Yeah, I know. Anything, to avoid it, yeah.
Talk about your background. County Down.
That's the one.
Gribba.
Greba. Yeah.
Gribba.
Gribba.
Not Grey Abbey.
Greba.
It's Ulster Scots, it is Gribba.
Yes, the one, yeah. Down
Because
that
they
neck of the
shorten
woods.
place names. Not all the time. I mean, they like Londonderry. They're fond of that. But Gribba.
Greba. As I say, it's only
It's a
people from
nice
Grey
wee-
Abbey get
it's a
to
nice wee
say
spot.
that. It's lovely.
It's a nice wee town, yeah.
I didn't appreciate it whenever I was growing up because to me it was so far away from everything. A lot of my friends all lived up, either Ards or Bangor or Belfast and things, and I felt like I was in the back of beyond. And it's only now as an adult, it's like, oh, that's a lovely place to be. But yeah, whenever I was little, it just felt really far away. There was about one bus every 4 hours
All right.
to get to
Yeah, it is
civilization.
a bit of a drive down to it.
But it's a lovely drive
is
now.
lovely drive,
Again,
again.
as a child, not
No.
a fan of a lovely drive. So it was just felt like it was just went on forever. But no, it's lovely. My folks still live down there, and it's a
lovely.
beautiful part of the world.
And your folks still, they still live there.
Yeah.
Is there a big family? Have you been there for centuries? Are you part of the Hamilton
No.
Montgomery settlement of 1605?
We're not. We're blow-ins.
Oh, I am.
Yes, my
Yeah.
mother to this day,
You're
who's
not
been
even
there.
Ulster Scots, are you?
Do you know what? I need to do Who Do You Think You Are? Because I don't
You
know.
do?
I mean, there must be something if you dig deep enough.
Yeah, bound to be with Hamilton.
Yeah, my sister keeps telling me, you need to go on Who Do You Think You Are? I want to find out. And part of me's
Which-
going, do
yeah.
I? Let's not
Yeah,
pick
that
the
is the thing.
scab.
You kind of go,
Quite scary what
Yeah.
might come out of that. But no, I don't know. My sister, as I say, and my mum are very big into trying to find out, but we haven't gone back that far. My mum's side of the family has ended up Castledurg direction, Donegal,
Right.
all around
right,
that
okay.
neck of the woods. But we haven't done the Hamilton side.
Right. Okay. Well, there is. There's a big Hamilton connection to that whole. And Bangor's lots of Hamilton roads and this, that, and the other, which go back to 1605 with the Hamilton Montgomery settlement.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Raven maps and the Raven maps in the Bangor Museum? These gloriously, beautifully coloured maps from the 1600s, and they have things like Hollywood in it, and they're amazing. And basically, there was a settlement in County Down, County Antrim, Hamilton, Montgomery, but they hated each other, so they got this guy to draw up maps about who owned what. But that whole area, where Ards Peninsula, was owned by the Hamiltons, wasn't it?
I can't remember which way it goes.
Can't remember which way it
No,
goes.
can't.
But that whole Bangor, where you go to Bangor,
Yeah,
there's
there's a-
Hamilton
yeah,
this and
there's-
Hamilton that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Hamilton the
Oh,
other.
yeah, there was a
But
split up, yeah.
you're not claiming any of that.
Not that I know of. I've done no digging around and I've absolutely no idea. But I mean, who knows?
Do you mean I have
Who
more
knows?
Ulster Scots connections than you? Because my great great granny came from Nuns Quarter on the Ards
So
Peninsula.
have you looked properly into this? then?
We did a documentary about this.
See, that's what you need to
Gary's-
do, like a proper,
did,
investigation to know for work. That's
Yeah.
what I need. I
We
need
might-
someone to do it
You
for
had-
me, is what I'm
you had a
saying.
deep scandal.
I had a
didn't you?
deep scandal.
You
We
did
had,
have-
we had a
Oh, see,
great
that's
great
what
great
you
great
want.
grandfather grandmother was the result of an illicit affair between a Presbyterian.
Stop
A
it.
well, yeah, exactly. Good papers. He was a She was Catholic. He was a Presbyterian assistant farmer from Nuns Quarter.
Assistant farmer, I guess.
I know. I'm sorry. I hung up on that. What's an assistant farmer?
A shit shoveler,
Okay,
basically.
good.
Not even a farmer, just a guy who's working around a farm.
Pretty sure that's what I
He
was
had
growing
a
up.
brief
now I think
affair
about it.
with. He was from Nuns Quarter. She was from Nuns Quarter. He was up the road. What's the wee village called? I can't even remember. You should know this. On the Ards Peninsula, literally up the road.
I can't think where you are.
In the Sharky, something like that.
Something daft, yeah.
Where are you here?
On the Ards Peninsula.
That's a where? At the
Yeah.
top, which bit?
Below you. Before Portaferry,
Before-
about halfway way between you and Portaferry.
That's a bit like that bit in The Lion King. You must never go there. Grey Abbey was far enough. I wasn't going even further down. Ballywalter was the cut-off for me.
But this is true. It was a Presbyterian farmer and a Catholic girl, and they had a child, and they didn't get married, which was quite unusual for 1865.
Yeah.
And the child ended up in Resharkin marrying my great grandfather McGarry.
See, this is what I want. I want the stories.
which is kind of also, both of them were Ulster Scottish names, but one of them was Catholic and one of them was Protestant. you see.
Oh,
See, I love stuff.
See,
like
no,
that.
I do love it. See, but that's the
We're all
important
mixed
bit.
up.
My mum and my sister, as I say, they were trying to investigate all this, but they just kept finding gravestones. Oh, look, that's where your such and such, your great
Do you not
whatever's
like a good
buried.
gravestone?
And I'm like, what's the story though? What's the scandal?
Yeah.
Who had an affair with who? That's what we want in these programs. But
Yes, of
instead,
course.
But there's lots of that in there. If you dig
yeah,
deep,
oh,
you
absolutely,
scratch
it's
the
all
surface.
there. So
Do you think that when they do that sort of who do you think you are, do you think they actually get the celebrity and then go do the trace first to see if it's going to be interesting?
I always wonder this. That's exactly what I always think. Like, do they? Because it would be so annoying if you just got a celebrity on and went, yeah, everybody was pretty straight laced.
Yeah. Very successful, in
Very
fact, yeah.
successful. Yeah.
Well,
Didn't get- yeah,
Did they
didn't
even
go-
marry a cousin? Nope. I just absolutely
Didn't end
it's
up in
all.
Botany Bay, no.
Yeah, like it would, but they always have scandals. So I always think that.
civil servant.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well done.
Well, if anyone's listening, I want someone to dig around in mine. I do want to know, but only if I've got scandal.
So you a big family? Good, big. brothers,
Good.
sisters?
Are they good? No,
Big,
they are.
big?
I've got one brother and one sister.
Yeah.
Protestants. Okay.
It's no use, is it? I know.
It's not a thing.
It's
Five
true.
in ours.
One.
We had 5.
Well, you were unusual. Yeah.
Unusual? What do you mean? Okay.
Yeah, no, one pretty standard. Yeah, one brother. I'm the middle child,
Are you the
obviously.
middle?
Obviously.
And is there any background or anything in showbiz, entertainment?
No, not at all. Your dad. Well, my mum's a journalist now. No,
Right.
that's where I came from. For me, so I wanted to be a journalist. My mum tried everything to talk me out of it, to go and get a proper job, as you do. Go be a lawyer or a doctor. My dad really wanted me to be a vet because he's a farmer.
Right.
But
That'll cut down the bills, you see.
yes, that was it. He was just thinking exactly that. Yeah, just keep her on site. I would never leave. Just be like this.
Something with that cow, have a look.
Yeah, exactly. Which is pretty much was my childhood anyway. Again, that was
Do you
I was the
farming
assistant.
stock?
I was the assistant farmer.
Are you farming
I
stock?
am, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I always thought I'd go back to it at some point. That's if I could get some sort of job where I am working
TV presenter, stroke farmer.
exactly like this is isn't it? The
Jeremy
guy from
Clarkson.
Emmerdale did that, and Jeremy Clarkson, of
Yeah,
course, yeah. But yeah, I think he's done it now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But no, I loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
And a happy childhood and everything. You go, yeah, no scandal, nothing.
This
you want
this
to tell
feels
us
like the
about.
right time to tell you
Yeah,
about.
I know it. We've come here to stage an
Yeah.
intervention, Holly.
Oh, do you know what? I really genuinely had such a great childhood, and it's the reason we're back here.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
course,
because we lived in England up until 5 years ago now, and that was whenever I was expecting Finn, the oldest boy, and we didn't intend to move home. That was never in the plan. We were very happy in Manchester, and when we came home, we just loved being
Yeah.
back. You know, it's such a cliche.
It's different, isn't it? I mean, the English are fine. I like a lot of our brother-in-law's English. You know, they're lovely people, but at the same time,
Do you know what there was for me too, particularly in Manchester? There was no water. I really missed the water, being close to the water.
Oh, right.
You know, when the weather was good, do you know what was really funny in Manchester? Like a Saturday, and it was 26 degrees. There was just this queue on the motorway to get to any of the seaside towns.
Right, of
You would
course,
spend half the day queuing to get to a
Yeah.
bit of water.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel suffocated even
Yeah.
thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Whereas that
You
was the
go-
thing here. No matter where you are,
2 minutes walk from here.
this is exactly where we are right now. And that was the thing when Finn was very tiny. That's all I would do, just walk up and down the water all the time. And that's what my childhood was like. We grew up quite
course,
close
you're
to the
right up
water,
here, yeah, of course.
in Greba. And that was, so idyllic for me. And I wanted him to have the same.
And does your career allow you to stay here? But are you Mrs. Ermiles and are you
I've
flying
made it
off
that
every-
way. Exactly. I've made life very hard for myself, but actually it's not. Well, I thought it would be really, really difficult, but I was spending an awful lot of time in England, traveling up and down the country. A lot of my work was both Manchester and London.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
That train between Manchester and
nightmare.
London is the bad place.
Is that right?
It is. It's particularly at the weekend.
I've only done it a
it's-
few times. It's
I can tell by your face. Anytime you have a
Awful.
conversation with someone who's experienced with that, it's
Garbage.
It's garbage. Is the politest way to put it. So a lovely little spin in the air of 30, 40 minutes just
Yeah.
popping over to either one is much easier. Actually, it shouldn't be that way.
No, it's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I know because I've got obviously my sons who are at the moment in Oxford, and he was saying he was
Just
going
drop
up
that in there.
No,
Oxford.
but
I didn't know.
but he was going to go over
He's
to.
a very talented young man.
But yeah, but he was going.
deserves-
He was going up to Scotland, and I said, you get in the train. He said, no way,
No way.
no way.
And it shouldn't be that way.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Because I love a little train journey.
So do I, like
but
trains.
it's so unbearable.
Yeah.
So at least on a flight, I'm guaranteed a seat. And that's nice.
Yeah, it's quicker.
And it's quicker, and it is cheaper, which is again should not be the
Which
case.
is ridiculous. Yeah, it's cheaper.
But anyway,
You're a BBC person through and through, are you?
yeah.
You're a freelancer at all?
I am freelance, yeah,
You
now,
can
but-
do freelance.
Yes.
Right. And the BBC, okay. See, we're BBC loyalists. I like the BBC.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
unless you
Are you
stop-
sure?
Unless you stop getting commissions. Yeah.
Yes, unless we stop getting. No, I like the BBC. I don't know, people slag it off and stuff, but yeah, I think you have a good experience with it. I mean,
I've always had such a positive experience with the BBC,
Yeah.
and I think because of the nature of how it operates and license fees and all the rest of it, it's always going to be a target. It's always going to be an easy target for people. that's just going to be the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But as an organisation, it's trying really hard. It doesn't get it right, of course, all the time, but it is doing its best.
And it's a huge organisation, and one thing happens, and everybody jumps on it and says, "It's the worst in the world." Yeah, just ignore X and all of that sort of stuff. And because you have a public profile, and because you do sports, and because you're a woman, do you get a lot of SH1TE?
There can be an awful lot of it out there. It can be depressing sometimes, social media, can't it? You know, we just wonder why. I do often wonder why people are so angry.
Yeah.
Particularly, you know, whenever I worked on BBC Breakfast, I used to have access to the emails even. And, you know, you'd be on air from 6 a.m. and people would be emailing in about the most ridiculous things, nothing really of much note. 2 minutes past 6, and you're like, how are you so angry already?
You woke up angry.
You woke up this angry to send, and most of them have got the laptop out, and sat and typed an email. You think, everybody just chill out a bit. Calm down. So no, there's always going to be a bit of that, isn't it? I think I'm quite lucky in a way that I haven't had the abuse that some of my colleagues have. And I think the reason for that is I'm a big one for just ignoring all and everything, really. I don't kind of get hung up on social media in the sense of, worrying about what everybody says.
I'm
and I think
that anyway. So
this is it, especially nowadays. People, it's an entire career. Social media is a job in itself.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just post like a Bebo album type thing. You're like, do you remember Bebo? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was like the first social media platform
even
pre-Facebook.
I'm beyond Bebo, me.
But that was like early 2000s. That was the first one we were on. And we just used to literally make an entire album of a night out, and that was the extent of it. That's basically the way I still do social media. So no, I think the key is, don't feed the beast. Don't worry about it. I give as much credence to people complimenting me as I do to people insulting me, because don't take any of it seriously.
Oh, no,
don't
I
take
disagree
yourself
with
too
that.
seriously.
No. People who compliment me are geniuses. They're people who are very intelligent.
They know their minds,
Everybody else are morons, But there is this thing about just kind of throwing a stone over a wall, not really caring what happens online, and go, Holly Hamilton's and shit, and doesn't know anything about sport and all that. And you go,
But that's just, and it is, you just can't let that worry you, because that person who is writing those things or is that angry about whatever, that's about them. That's not about you at all. You could be anybody that day. You just happen to be in their eye line at 2 minutes past 6.
What I get online is so-called comedian, ha ha ha, he's not a comedian.
I'm laughing already.
Yeah, you're laughing already. But we've had a lot of politicians in here, a lot of female politicians, Naomi and Claire Hanna and stuff like that, and said that for women in particular, it gets really, really sexist and nasty and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, have you experienced that at all?
Particularly,
you get comments about your dress sense and all that. People very rarely comment about my dress sense.
I can see a sadness in your eyes
nails,
about that.
or my eyes, or my hair, or anything.
If anyone is listening, please comment.
Where do you get your clothes?
That is always the difference, I think, between men and women who are on screen. If I wore the same outfit 2 weeks in a row, even within the same season of something, people would notice. People would say, "Oh, which is." Yes. God. Whereas my male counterparts, we joke about this all the time. They literally recycle about the same 4 outfits over and over again.
Of course you do.
And they're quite open about that fact. But for women, there's just that added bit of pressure. And bizarrely, yes, you will get comments more so. And I would say this a lot of the time from blokes on what you're wearing. Right. You have to be very careful. There are certain items that have been banned.
Oh, right.
Never wear leather.
Really?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Nope,
right,
never.
okay.
There's entire web pages based on that. Never wear open-toe shoes.
All right.
Tights is an unfortunate territory as well. So yeah, you've really got to think about these things.
Wait, don't worry about that.
No, you don't have to.
Fair.
If we get up in the morning, we just say, what leg go on the floor there? That'll do.
There was a guy who used to, I think he still does, but he would message me every so often, really enraged if I wore trousers.
Right.
Like it had ruined his day, but it's not. This sounds like it's been complimentary. It's not. It's a sort of. It's aggressive. It's that kind of intimidation thing.
Creepy,
Well, it is creepy, but even the language that he'd use, it would be to sit and constantly do that.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to worry about that. It's really bizarre, but
not a person who's engaged in. Something important in life. Obviously, no disrespect to yourself, but if they're commenting on what you're wearing,
this is it. Exactly. This is what I was saying before.
We're not, Oxford has not lost an academic genius in there, or
and you can't let
Nobel prizes are not missing out on somebody.
Exactly, and I think it's that idea again of just that's not about me. That's
Yeah.
nothing to do with me, and it's nothing to do with how anybody looks, but that is very much just a power move almost in
Yeah.
a way,
Yeah.
isn't it? So yeah, there's a lot of that sort of thing happens within the DMs, but I tend not to wade into them
So just
anymore.
ignore him.
Ignore 'em. Ignore 'em all.
Ignore
It's
him.
fine.
Ignore him. Do you get to knock about with famous people over there, the sports people and your what do you call her? What do you call the big sportswoman over there?
Big sportswoman.
Jeepers,
Gabby
I
or
forget.
Claire? Which
Claire
one?
Balding?
Claire Balding.
Claire. Yeah, was there only one of the two?
Yeah,
It's Gabby
has
or
to be
Claire.
Claire.
No, I'm a fan of Claire Balding.
I am a fan of Claire. She's you know what? She's one of these people who I've watched for a long time before I met her. And she is just the same off screen.
Yeah.
Like, she's lovely. She is a woman's woman. You know,
Right.
she is just. You feel supported by
Did she
her.
start with a horse racing or something? Is that what she
She
started?
started. Was the horse
Yeah,
racing?
yeah.
That's gone back a wee bit now. I think did she do something else though? Anyway, so she, her, and Gabby as well. They're both,
Right.
you know, really supportive.
And how did you get into it then? How do you go to Regent College and then you go to Dundee, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, by the way,
Dundee?
Regent College that could stick. Yeah, Regent House. Yeah,
Regent House,
That made it
Regent
sound
Co-
very fancy. Then.
Oh,
Regent
don't
College,
I thought
like
Regent
that.
House sounds better than Regent College.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Regent House.
Regent House College.
It's not even a
Nice.
school, it's a house, young man.
Yeah.
It's a house for educating young ladies. Is there gentlemen go to Regent House?
gentlemen do go there,
Oh,
yes,
do they
yes,
as well?
yes.
Right. Is this Newton Ards?
Newton Ards, yeah, it was
Ards.
mixed, absolutely. Yeah.
Was it mixed, as in boys and girls?
Yes.
Not Protestants and Catholics.
Well, yeah, I think there was just given where it is, it was a majority Protestant school, I would say,
Right.
but I don't think there was a sign at the door or anything.
Right. Right, okay. No, so it's state school. But you're involved in integrated education, you and Connor, aren't you? Same as myself, I do the integrated education
Yes.
fund. You're the other lot, aren't you? You're the splitters from the integrated education
Do you
fund.
know-
You're the integrated education something or other.
Nicey. Yes. No, it's something that is really important to us, you know, and this was even before we had children, that we just felt, you know, this that sounds very, I don't know what the word is, you know, children are the future. And that
Right.
is it.
Oh,
you can see it. You know, what world would we be living in if we separated them all out? And they don't care. They don't give it a second thought at all. You know, and the idea that there are little children out there who have to say things like, you know, that they have maybe never met somebody of another religion. I think
It's a bit depressing, that,
it's
isn't it?
really depressing. It's not
Yeah.
good for anybody, that. So I think it's brilliant.
Whereas you and Connor are the Billy and Emer of the 21st century.
That's what inspired our relationship. It was
I was
Billy
just
and
going to
Emer.
say, were you inspired by
I-
two seats
that was-
version of Wedding? I go, I need to,
We need a piece of that.
I need to return because you know it is a lovely cross-community relationship. You're from Greba.
Uh-huh.
Connor is Armagh, South
Armagh, no
South
less,
Armagh,
yeah.
you know, and proper South Armagh, you know,
Proper South
South
Armagh,
Armagh, GAA and all that nonsense, you know. And he's very happy. Was it last year? When did they win the All Ireland?
A couple of years ago now, was it?
24,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
he was very happy. Still
he
talking
was-
about it.
Yes, he didn't give up over it. I was about to say something else there. He didn't. He was quite pleased about it.
He was. Yes, that's the
But
understanding.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that because it's very shortly before that Cliftonville Mike team won the Irish Cup in May
yes,
90.
you get
and there
it.
are moments in sport that you just go. I genuinely cried. I was in bits.
I
know
yes,
I'm not afraid to tell people.
absolutely. Oh,
It was
here.
one of the most important moments of my life.
Okay.
The Cliftonville beating.
Please.
The producer's
laughing.
laughing there.
I do
You don't
understand
get
that. I
You don't
totally get it.
understand. I genuinely was one of the most moving moments
Was
of my
when-
life.
when Liverpool
Never
won
gonna
the
get him with
Champions
Leeds. He's never going to get him with Leeds. So.
No, but it's one of those you don't read. But sport does that.
It does that. I was saying
It does it.
Liverpool in the Champions League when they won, you know, after
Right.
30 years. I mean, we were all in bits. We
Right.
were just, it was
You and Connor Liverpool.
both Liverpool fans. Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you? How did you meet?
So we actually met through work.
Right.
We met at Downtown Cool FM. But
Oh, right, okay.
we didn't know each other that well to begin with, and then we
Yes,
were,
he was at downtown quite a while because I used to interview me when we were plugging stage shows and stuff.
Yeah. You go way back, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Oh, I know. We sadly do.
No,
yeah.
it was definitely not love at first sight in that
Really?
I don't think he liked me very much. I think I was kind of getting into his space a little bit too much. You know, there's
Right.
this new girl on the scene, and they were very keen to put a female influence on the breakfast show.
Right, okay.
And the boys that worked there Connor and Gareth as it was. I think they were quite happy keeping it as a boys' club. So
Right.
they basically bullied me for foreseeable. Well, that's strong language to use these days. But they were really
we used to be
mean.
lawyers in that field, by the way. But the bad news is you're probably out of time to claim.
Yeah, exactly.
your
And I married one of the
And your
perpetrators.
claim is
so
slightly undermined by, I was bullied by my husband. Yeah.
So, well, that could take a darker turn. But
Yeah.
So no, it was, but it was such a fun place to work, in so many ways, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So it was,
They're celebrating 50 years.
That's right, yeah. I think everybody's worked there at some point.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah. I remember I was at school whenever I knew that this is kind of the area that I wanted to work in. And I remember, going in there when I was, it must have been 15, 16, to get a tour of the place. As you do, I was trying to get every bit of work experience that I could, ringing up whoever was in charge at that point. Like, can I just come and take a look, as if they were going to go, do you know what? Let's put you on the mic.
Wait a minute. Give that woman a microphone.
Here. Like, oh my goodness, just leave school right now. That's kind of what's in your head when you're that age, as if that's going to happen just by turning up to these places. In fact, it is actually how I got my first job in the end. But anyway, that's another story. But it was, and because it was Newton Arts, of course, too.
Yeah, of course, just around the corner.
Yeah, it's very handy.
I know,
I
it's a
live with
pain
my
in the arse
parents.
doing an interview in downtown because they come down to Kiltonga Industrial. But they've now moved out of, have they?
So I hear, yeah.
Wow, which is after 50 odd years. Yeah. So how do you become a sports journalist? I ask slightly with an interest. My partner's son is studying sports journalism at Liverpool, and would like to get involved in that sort of thing. He's a massive football fan, Arsenal fan, stuff like that. But he's interested in other sports as well. But how do you go from kind of you being in Dundee University? Head girl, were you head
I was
girl?
head girl, yeah. I think that's probably up there for me, because I think nobody was as surprised as I was when that happened. But yeah, look, for me, I was always interested in sport. I think it's kind of in our blood a little bit here.
Yeah.
We were, particularly at school, we were always, even in primary school, I remember getting shipped off to go and watch like Medallion Shield and things like that. And
Yeah, it's inculcated. Yeah,
it's like you just have to be part of it. And it didn't dawn on me until probably adulthood that, you know what, not every part of the world is like that, particularly for women and girls, but we were just sort of indoctrinated in it. I was always a big sports fan. So initially, it never felt to me like an obvious career choice because it felt like it wasn't a place for women and girls, honestly. And do you know what I thought was really detrimental, actually, for a long time with Sky Sports? They kind of, what they did damaged women and girls in sport, as in they trotted out very beautiful women who maybe didn't know that much about sport, but looked great on camera. And then that's what people started to see, that, if you're a woman working in sport, then you don't really know much about sport. So that's the question when I was working in sport I got asked all the time. Do you actually like football? Do you actually like sport? Do you know how anger induces that? No man is getting asked that. Yeah, not one.
Yeah.
And even, so that was always a bit of frustration for me. So I didn't initially go into sport, but whenever I was working in news, I would always take the jobs when they came up, if there was a chance to go and interview any of the football managers or...
Oh, right, okay. So it was a gravitation towards it.
Well, exactly, but it was a lack of confidence.
But if you have an interest or
that was just,
genuine interest
exactly.
and you know what you're talking about, people will know that very
It almost
quickly.
wasn't a career aspiration for me. It was almost like this is a great bonus, isn't it? I get to go to these places and do this while I'm doing the other job. And I look back at that now and I do get annoyed at younger me for feeling that way, that it just didn't feel like a place that I would gravitate towards just for that reason. Where in reality, if I had, maybe from a very young age kind of, well, I don't think it would have changed anything, but
I mean, I know women. I know women still get that, particularly from older men going, "Oh, Bucks, you know about football?" Or
It's not
women commentating on football.
And it's so bizarre. I never understand it, and I'm always trying to get, where are people taught that? That it's not a place
it's
for.
kind of doubly impressive for women because they are excluded by their sex.
Yeah.
From like the Premier League, they are. I mean, so for them to take that interest, I think it's quite amazing. Actually, to go, well, I'm not part of it, so why am I involved?
But it's so. But I wonder, and it's something. And I've got 2 boys now, so I'll never get to really explore this. But at what age does sport become like the Premier League? What age does that become not a place for girls?
Yeah.
At what point does it kind of? Oh, that that's what boys do, because something happens. Something I go to a match, and something happens at some point where you go.
Yeah. Well, it's ingrained in society. I used to work for the Equal Opportunities Commission, right? Fighting sex discrimination. Legal.
Big fan of your work.
Genuinely, this is absolutely true. The head of the sex of the organisation, lovely woman, completely, and her husband, lovely man, completely brought their children up in a non-sexist environment as much as possible. Yeah. 5 years old, he came into work just to meet his mummy and stuff, and his mummy said to her 5-year-old son, "This is mummy's boss," which was a woman, and he turned around and said, "Don't be silly, mummy. A woman can't be a boss."
Oh.
And I said, "Where did you get this from?" So, like, it was Thomas the Tank Engine or something, the fat controller, the boss. And
always
all
a man.
that. So genuinely just said,
Wow.
"Look, I brought this child up in a non-stick. I work as a senior lawyer." And he goes, "But don't be silly, mummy.
You're right,
At
though.
5 years old, and you go,
Exactly.
what the
Well, at the minute, and obviously I have a 5-year-old that I'm trying very hard to make sure
Yeah.
that because we do naturally do it. We do naturally use particularly certain roles and jobs that we decide to assign a sex to them. And again, like, you catch yourself doing it all the time. Do you know, he actually asked me yesterday, I don't know where this came from, "Mummy, are clowns boys or girls?" And I very firmly went, "Clowns can be both boys and girls, my boy."
Let's have a chat about the trans issue here, friend. That's okay.
But for some reason, at 5, we decided that needed to be assigned. You know, and I do wonder, you know, where does that even? But we're trying really hard to address that and try to make the world a better place.
It's tougher these days, you know. It's tougher. But even you're a young woman. But women's football has grown. I mean, but you wouldn't have grown up with women's football being anything but, you know, who'd never heard of it? No.
Well, I remember at my school, we didn't have a women's team, and that's you know that's not that long ago. She likes to think. But it's not. But I do remember when I was about 6th year, that's when they introduced a women's team. So that's about the time period when it came in. And again, it felt very novelty. You know, we're gonna let the girl. But again, like, what was I doing at break time, at lunchtime? I remember, and we came in absolutely covered in the gravel out in the out in the say the playground. But we were a bit older then. But yeah, we were out playing football with the lads too, and all the rest of it. And I don't understand why it took such a long time.
It did take a long time. When you think of Marissa Callaghan, who I big for
fan.
Cliftonville. Marissa played captain of Cliftonville, captain of Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
for a minute,
of course.
got to the Euros and all of that. But that whole thing has just kind of burst. It got bigger and bigger and bigger.
And
locally,
it will continue to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the early stages of it here. You see what's happened in the States. I feel like in America,
It's massive, isn't it?
they're that wee bit ahead of us. It's
Yeah.
like the future that we can see. The England team is another great example. It's I would say a little bit ahead of Northern Ireland in the sense of funding and the logistics and the practical side of that. But that has an impact. You know, when you see, like, I've been to an England game, the women's England games, and the support on the sidelines, the crowds, the little girls, with their posters, they just idolise these women. And then when I see it in Northern Ireland, oh my gosh, that makes me so proud that we're getting to that stage, honestly. Because that's the important part. That's the bit. Those little girls, see it, be it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that in real time. So I think that's so exciting.
Right. And slightly less aggressive atmosphere than the male matches.
Oh, isn't it? It's like a real family friendly.
Slightly less.
Because honestly, that is the biggest issue for me sometimes. Because I would love to take my little boy to go and see Liverpool at some point, but you just couldn't at this point. I remember taking my friend's little boy when he was 10. I felt like putting my hands on his ear because it wasn't my child too. I'm going, I am corrupting this child because it is the worst level of language that you could possibly imagine. So but the women's football, it's like family friendly. It's just great. If you haven't been, go, because it's just a great day.
No, it is. It's a completely different atmosphere. And I'm a big football fan. My children were sadly Man United fans.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Awful.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I feel like they should have been taken off me. But you can't ring up social services and go take these children away. They're Man United fans. But I did take them to Old Trafford once. There were a crowd of fellas in front of us from Northern Ireland, of course, and the effing and the one of them was 6, and we going, lads, please come on.
I know.
He's only effing this and
It's like a leaky bucket trying to stop it, though, isn't it? It's just everywhere.
And then you go, look, this
exactly. There's nothing you can do.
So different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Marissa Callaghan, I have a lot of time for her. She's just retired now, but I think she's a trailblazer. But I feel really sorry for her, and that she's kind of missing the you know, she's such a great player,
Yeah.
and she's missing, you know, what's going to come next.
Exactly.
You know? And I think
Yeah.
she deserves to be like a proper trailblazer.
But
you know?
she always will be. That no one can take that away from her. She will
Yeah.
always be part of that team and that side, you know, that kind of has paved that path for what's to come in future generations.
Yeah.
And she will always be, you know, we will always look back at Marissa Callahan's career and think, you know, that's where it all began. That's where it all started of what women's football in Northern Ireland will soon become.
No, here's the question.
Oh.
Last Thursday, were you watching Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland?
Oh, do you know, I was watching Northern Ireland, so just to answer the question quick. But yes, because Connor was in Italy.
Connor was watching
there.
the Republic, and they were getting a grant from somebody.
Because poor Connor was there and he had to watch both at the same time. That's the key to it. Have one on the TV, one on your phone, and then you're covered. You got both. But I'll be honest, I was up very early the next day, so I didn't make it to the penalties because I switched over to watch the Republic of Ireland and went, I'm gone, and I know which way this is going to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
You
It's just
went, this is going the
this
wrong
is
way.
exactly that. So.
Yeah.
Are your boys going to be hurlers or footballers or hockey players or?
We were just chatting about this on the way in about what because Connor and I are both sport mad.
Yeah.
We are so adamant that no matter, we just want him to do something within sport. But I mean,
You've got them running like 5 run.
to explain, we've taken him to Kids Park Run.
Sorry, I didn't. I thought, got the skills over there. Run. We'll time you.
Do you know, I used to, this is terrible, I shouldn't admit to this, whenever my sister's a little bit younger than me, and again, because I was always dead sporty, and my sister has never enjoyed sport. She's never been into it. When she was little, and it was my job to do her spellings with her, if she got one wrong, I made her do a lap of the garden.
That's how you teach them. They learn. Does she know how to spell now?
She does. She
There
really
you
does.
go.
And she still does. And do you know what?
Marines? Like,
And now she's a runner. So I
Give
will
me
take
10.
credit for both. So in her later years now, she's absolutely discovered running, and I'm telling
her
that's
do
all
a
the
lap around the
training.
garden and then
It's
she
not
goes,
terrible.
"Cat," and they go, onomatopoeia.
Now,
Go, try that.
In my defence, I was also a child, by the way. So you know,
All right,
but I'm
okay.
not doing that to my children. But yes, Kids Park Run, brilliant, big fan.
it's the fact that she accepted that she had to run right. That's all right.
No.
Yes, sis, that's okay.
No, she had no choice. That was so bad. Oh dear.
What was I going to say? So, what's a typical week for you? You're kind of news, sport, all over the place. A couple of corporates interviewing megastars, and then
And sitting down.
is there a
with you two
typical
now.
week which is kind of?
No, there's that's one thing I've discovered is I don't really have a typical week or a routine or anything, but that's the way I like it.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a while to realise that. I think naturally we try to gravitate towards creating some sort of routine for ourselves, and this is what we do because that's what we've always done from school age. You know, you go to school and all the rest of it. Now, I am a workaholic. That's also something I've discovered. I do like work, and I remember when I took...
Protestant in her.
Also, the millennial in me. Honestly, I'm such a screaming millennial that I just... whenever I was off maternity leave, and I didn't realise I had done this, but I created a working day for myself.
Really?
So every day, you know, we'd get up and I had to be out the door by 9 o'clock. Like every day it was kind of, right, we've got to get out in the pram by 9 o'clock, and I will get my coffee at the same place, and, you know, and it was structured, and, you know, I kind of had to have some work to go to, even when the work was, you know, the baby. But I had to have some sort of not clocking in, clocking out system, but structure to it.
Right.
But there's no routine for me, but I do like it that way. I like that I don't know what I'll do in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. You know, anything can pop up. I didn't know I was going to be interviewing Arnold Schwarzenegger 3 weeks ago, and here we are. So.
And your agent didn't stop you doing this podcast, which we appreciate.
I should probably tell him, actually.
Hang on, but see about Arnold. What was he getting it for exactly?
For all his work within politics and his environmentalist
He's
work.
He's a big
I know he's
environmentalist.
environmentally sounded, you know.
He is, honestly, he has done, I think that was the basis of a lot of the conversation was that, you know, how do you kind of go from succeeding in one area of life and then going, do you know what? Bin it all off. I'm going to go into politics now. Although he doesn't say it's going into politics, he's trying to change the world and all the rest of it, because it's a risk. Can you imagine getting be one of the most successful people in your field and go, I'm going to stop doing that now for a while and go and do something else, where it's particularly in a job that people might hate you for.
Yeah.
You know, but it was really interesting actually, because he really did not care whether people like him or not. You know, that seems
Will
that
you get
seems
to the
be
point
key.
where you're so rich you don't really care? Or
Do you think that's
I
it?
think it's possibly that.
Just-
you can
yeah,
do Lidl
whenever
ads.
you've got-
You can do Lidl ads and
Yeah. Although then it makes me think, yeah,
Yeah, right. Well, so when you're so rich, you're still doing Lidl ads.
exactly.
maybe
But I would think twice
I'm
about
still-
Lidl.
I'm
not
gonna look
wrong, by
this
the
up
way,
now
Lidl,
about
if you're
Arnie
interested.
and Lidl.
maybe he's taking pity on them or something.
I'm looking this up.
You're looking this up to see if
Arnold.
Are you sure it's
I
Parkside,
can't
they have
quite believe
brand,
it.
they have Parkside or something like tools, and he's sitting there with his chainsaw.
Yes, come on.
right?
Yeah, let's see.
It must be that
brand
you're-
ambassador for Parkside, their DIY tool range.
Thank you.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnie Schwarzenegger. I know.
Well,
He
there
doesn't
you
need
go.
the money.
He doesn't need the money. You know?
What's your man doing? Robert De Niro doing fucking all sorts of weird ads.
I eat and all that stuff. Just eat, no?
Yeah, there's who's the one that does the bread advert as well? Warburton's, is that it? There's somebody who does that, and I remember popping up and going, "What are you doing?" But you know what a lot of them do, which is great actually. What they do is they just film themselves separate from the other actor, and then there's a different actor in every country of the world. So they just superimpose the celeb because sometimes they're like, there was one, who was it? And it was an advert with Stacey Solomon.
Right.
And you're like it was like De Niro or something. What is De Niro doing with Stacey Solomon? I love her. Like, what's
All right,
going
they
on?
worked in the same room. all day.
Yeah, exactly. So there was like the
right.
Icelandic Stacey Solomon somewhere, in Iceland and
All
Norwegian
right,
Stacey
okay.
Solomon and all the rest
Okay.
of it. So it's clever. It's good.
My cousin was a peeler, and he was the peeler who did 3 Dead in this vehicle. It was the one that
Oh,
did it then.
yeah.
That because he was working on it as a peeler, and they didn't, so he didn't get any money. But his voice, or he, not him, but his image was used all across the world. So there was a German version of there was a southern version, and they were all getting money. He got nothing. He got
No way.
And the voiceover artist.
Yeah, the voiceover artist all got a German version, southern version, English, because it was a kind of
Nondescript.
Yeah.
police uniform. And he was a serving officer, and he went,
That's brilliant.
I know, well, it's that, the other reverse. Going, wait a minute.
That man needs an agent. That's what he needs.
Exactly.
Talk to my agent.
Exactly. Holly, thank you very much for taking the time out. That was in nearly an hour.
Was it?
Yes.
We could do another 2 hours here, I think, shooting the breeze.
Thank you so much for
It's
being
my
on
pleasure.
the Give My Head podcast. We really appreciate it. Say hello to your man as well, will you?
Is he getting another mention, is he?
Well, not even mention his
No,
name.
don't even say his name.
Yeah,
Like Voldemort. It's just your man.
we know who the talent is. Okay, that's all I can.
And it's the children.
Tell them we said hello. Thank you very much. Take the rest of the day off because you've got a day off.
I will do. This is what am I going to do with myself?
Well, you've got a couple of hours before the school run.
And I'll write it all down in my diary.
Write it all down in your Phoenix Energy notebook. Many thanks to our sponsor, Phoenix Energy, for your continued support of the podcast. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're delighted to have the wonderful Holly Hamilton. Thank you very much. Holly. Thank you. See you next time on the Give Me Head podcast. Thank you.